everyone, I'm Anna Huthmaker with Huthmaker Violins. You found another one of our Students Stuck at Home series. Now, this one is actually for the parents and for the teachers so that you know how to guide your parents. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to buy a violin. And make no mistake, I'm not trying to sell you a violin. I want to just give you all the helpful hints you need so that wherever you are in the country or the world, you can make the best purchase for your kid. Now I want to show you something really quickly. I have 3 violins here. One of them is $600, one of them is $3,000, and one of them is $12,000. Which is which? Now, I'd be willing to bet, as a parent, you don't have the foggiest idea. And that makes you one of the most normal parents out there because most parents don't have any idea. And that puts you at a disadvantage. There is no such thing as a blue book for violins that we know of. So you end up going online, trying to do some research, trying to learn some stuff, but you still just don't know. What should it cost? Where should I go? Now, let me answer that first question first. Where should you go? Always, 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 when it comes to a string instrument purchase, if at all possible, go to a brick and mortar store. Go to a violin shop if there's one within a 100-mile radius. You will be really glad you did. You'll get good advice, I promise you. Only go online as a really last resort. Because online, we can't see them, we can't feel them. You could be vulnerable to 100 really fake reviews. You just never know. So go to a brick and mortar and start there. Now, how much should it cost? Here's the thing that I want you to know. A rental instrument, a school instrument, a beginning instrument, we're going to talk about violins first, should start minimum $500. If you are saying the sentence, well, my kid's just a beginner, I'm just going to get him a cheap one and then see how it goes, you're already putting yourself behind the 8 ball. Here's what will happen. You'll go online, you'll find a $100 violin on Amazon, and you're like, woohoo, and there's 500 reviews that say, this is a very good student violin. So you have a $100 violin, you go in and the teacher says, okay, here's the problem. It needs different strings, it needs a new bridge, it needs a tailgut, it needs a sound post inside. That is just to make it playable, and we haven't even gotten to the bow. And guess what all that costs? $300 to $400 to start off with. So what you have now is you have an instrument that you've put maybe $400 or $500 into, and it's still a $100 instrument. So you can see where going with that uber cheap one, the problem is that was never really meant to be a playable instrument. If I told you that the brand new car you were going to buy was $900, you would think I was crazy and you'd run away from me. That's what I want you to do to a violin online that costs $80. That's also what I want you to do to the pink, blue, and green ones, because there's no such thing as those being good violins. So the idea that you're going to shell out $500 or $600 for your brand new kid playing violin that you don't know if they're really going to play for a while sounds painful, right? I couldn't agree more. So our advice always is from the beginning, rent. You can rent a much better quality instrument, and then your kid is set up for success. Those terrible, awful online cheap ones, they're really hard to play. They don't operate well in the kid's hands, and this is after you've poured all that money into it. So if you get a nicer one but you rent it, it becomes much more affordable. Most places you can rent them for $20 a month. You can do rent to purchase programs in some stores, and then maybe start building up some credit and see where it goes. The truth is that orchestra kids in general, highly intelligent, highly talented, and they have lots of different interests. So none of us know if your kid is going to stay with the violin or the viola or the cello for more than a year or 2. So go for that rental program. I promise you it would be the best use of your money. Now, just so you know, when it comes to violas, they are more expensive, and cellos and basses as they get bigger and bigger. A rental cello, a student rental cello, the kind of thing they would be playing at school, should start $1,200, $1,400 baseline and go up from there. A lot of rental cellos are $2,000. That's a pretty common price for them. So again, you can see, starting there rather than just shelling out that money, super smart move. Now, we have here at Huthmaker Violins, we made folders for parents who are having to buy their first instruments so that we give out. Again, I'm not trying to sell you anything. If you're in Texas, you don't need to come to us. You can go to your local violin shop. But if you want, I'll send one of these to anybody who wants one. All you have to do, go to huthmakerviolins.com and shoot me an email with your address. I'll be happy to send it to you. Last but not least, try and ask your teacher before you make a purchase and listen to them. They're very smart. If the teacher says, please don't buy an $80 violin off Amazon.com, there's a reason they're saying that. They're saying that to you because of their experience. Also keep in mind legalities. Throughout much of the country, definitely where I live, the teachers are not allowed to say to you, go to this shop, don't go to this shop. They are behind certain guidelines and rules they have to follow. But they can say to you, spend this much, rent first, try and get at least a good student quality instrument for your kid. I hope that helps. Now, just in case you were wondering before we go, that's the $600 one. This is a $3,000 one. That's a $12,000 one. But you can see they kind of all look alike. I hope that helps you. Parents, seriously, if you ever have questions, you can call us anytime. And thank you for supporting your kids, and thank you for letting your kids be in orchestra. It's a grand adventure, I promise. I'm Anna Huthmaker with Huthmaker Violins. Have a great day.